Man, sometimes when I watch YouTube, I'll be thinking, man, thank God for me. Nah, I'm just joking. I'm being a little cocky there. But nah, seriously, I'm making this video to explain some things to some of you YouTubers and people in general. Now, shout out to Gaming. He's somebody that left a couple comments in one of my videos when I was talking about 720p and why people should not damage control it. And of course, people were actually damage controlling it. Some people say that complaining about 720p is fueling the console war between Xbox One and PS4. And if you know anything about me on my channel, you know that I'm actually a multi-platform channel. I don't have a preference in the console war. I prefer the Xbox over the PS4, but however, the PS4 is honestly a much better console. Now, it's easy for me to be honest and say that because it's the truth. I don't have to damage control that. I prefer Xbox One over PS4, but PS4 is a better console. Why? Because it has better quality. It has 1080p games, 60 FPS. Granted, Xbox has this, but PlayStation seems to do it with the games that matter most. It seems to do things a little bit better in my opinion. For content creation, you have the Share Factory, which is to me a better editing software. You also have the option to use a USB microphone, which is something that Xbox should have, but it doesn't. So there's a ton of things I can get into in this video. But what I'm going to talk about is the 720p issue and why it actually does matter, and I'm going to school some of you people. So please get your pen and your pad together and listen to what I'm about to say. Okay. When 720p was introduced as the first standard for high definition, people usually had something between 32 to 40 inch TVs in the house. Now, the 720p is actually the pixel count and the details to the video. Now, you also have 4K now, 5K, and 8K on the way. These are resolutions, and what these resolutions do are actually, they provide more color and pixel count. The reason the pixels count are not actually based off your display's resolution, but your display's size. If you have a 42-inch TV and you take an image that is 720p and you put it next to a same image that is 1080p, the 42-inch TV is going to look very similar. However, the 1080p image is going to look better due to the fact that 720p is not blown out that much on a 42-inch TV. Now, if you take the same 720p image and blow it out on a 50-inch TV versus a 1080p TV, you will see degradation in the 1080p image versus the degradation in the 720p image versus the 1080p image. This is why 720p is actually not acceptable, because in this day and age, most people have 55-inch, 60-inch, 65-inch, 70-inch TVs. So if you have something of this nature as far as your display for your console, 720p is very undesirable. Now, granted, Quantum Break does look pretty good for a 720p game, but me being a person that edits footage, there's a lot of tricks you can do to something at 720p to make it look like it's 4K, but then downscale the image to 720p. So yes, you can get away with that, but however, because it is native 720p, when you take the 720p and start blowing it back out, it will lose quality and will cause degradation. So in 2016, you should not have games having degradation and that are running in 720p, because this simply means this game will look very good until you start getting big displays and putting the game on it. If you play on a monitor, you'll be fine. If you play on a big screen, 720p is not desirable. Simply because, like I said, 720p was actually designed for TVs that are under 42 inches. Because people started getting these big monitors, they introduced 1080p. Now, of course, 1080p is not desirable after you hit 65 inches. So when you start hitting the 60-inch mark, the 55-inch mark, 4K is something you may want to look into, because these resolutions are actually meant for bigger displays. Nobody really needs you to get a 32-inch TV and have it in 4K, because honestly, if you take a 1080p TV that is a good display and you put it next to a 4K display and they're both 32 inches, you're not going to be able to tell much difference. The actual detail comes in when you blow that picture out, because the 4K picture has more pixels. So more pixels mean it can be blown out more. More means more. So 720p is actually undesirable because people have big displays. I have a 50-inch 4K display as my main display that I use, and I have a 28-inch. On the 28-inch, it'll be fine, but when I get to the 50, I'm going to see degradation in the quality. Now, when I capture the video, you will not see that, but I will see that in my house. So I wanted to make this video to educate you people who think that 720p, 1080p, and none of this stuff matters. Numbers do not lie, and yes, numbers do matter. So hopefully this video was helpful and educated you people on what is going on, because if you have a big display, 720p looks blown out on bigger displays. Just like when you get a 4K TV, for you to use it on your PC, you need to have what's called 4.4.4 chroma. Chroma is the chroma pixel subsampling count. If it's not 4.4.4, which means all four corners of the pixel is actually put in detail, you start to lose quality right there in 4K. So all the numbers always matter. Now, hopefully I didn't really lose you people. If you want more details on this, maybe I can make a more detailed video, because there is a lot more details to be put into this. Or you could just leave me a comment in the comment section and I'll try to explain it. But I'm not going to get like egg-headed in the comment section. If it gets like to the point where people really want to know something, I'll do another video. But I just wanted to make this one to explain to you guys why 720p actually does matter. It's your boy Jimmybgaming. I'm out of here. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. And stop damage controlling 720p, because at the end of the day, this is unacceptable in 2016 unless you still play on a 32-inch TV. Okay? I'm out of here, man. Peace. Exactly the same as far as the edges and the way that things reflect. Now, the game should be around 1080p, but this is not confirmed. On my display, it did register as 1080p on both consoles.